Let's move our focus to Akasa Air as it celebrates its first year of commercial operations this month. On the sidelines of the 19th Motilal Oswal Annual Global Investor Conference, Sonia Shenoy caught up with the co-founder of the company, Aditya Ghosh. She started by asking him about the changing dynamics of the aviation industry and whether recent troubles faced by competitors will open up more opportunities for them.
In some ways, Sonia, nothing changes in our business. It remains as exciting as always. But actually, what has also not changed is that aviation continues to be a highly underpenetrated market with lots of opportunity. And, the current environment, or for that matter, the post-pandemic rush, and what is quite evident is that the fundamental need for people to travel did not change, gives us the opportunity to continue to build an airline which is focused, disciplined, efficient, warm, friendly. And that's what's probably made us the fastest growing startup airline in global aviation history. So it's got off to a good start, I would say.
Okay, got off to a good start. You recently placed an order of 72 aircraft. That was a large order. Just trying to understand how much would you be scaling up your capacity given the opportunity that has now opened up?
Well, we started off with a 72 aircraft order, and then this summer we added another 4 aircraft to that fleet. So we are up to 76 firm order now. And we're in the midst of ordering, or in the midst of finalizing an order for another, at least a triple-digit order. So let's take a minimum. It's going to be at least 100. So, that's 176 airplanes that will be on order before this year is out. And we think that, that's going to cater this massive burgeoning demand in the aviation sector for the long period to come.
I do want to talk about the burgeoning demand for the aviation sector because, this has been one of the best quarters that we've seen in a very long time, right? Because of how demand has come back in a big way. But particularly for Akasa Air, do you have any market share targets that you're looking to achieve? Currently, you have a market share of around 5.2%, and you are the 5th largest airline. But just want to understand any internal guidelines, any internal targets that you have over the next 1 to 2 years?
No, not really. We don't have a market share target. I truly believe that, market share is an easy one to chase, but doesn't put food on your table. I think what's important is to make sure that you run a ferociously low cost structure and the most efficient and warm and friendly product, which then does 2 things. It helps you offer affordable fares consistently to your customers, and customers like the efficiency and the friendliness, so they follow and market share grows automatically. So what we are focused on is making sure that we bring in capacity with a discipline. We are up to 20 airplanes now in our first year of operation. We'll be 25 airplanes in the next few months. We have our international operations that we are pursuing over the next few months. So I think if we continue to do this, market share will follow. That's not what we chase.
Okay, you were telling us earlier about the burgeoning opportunity that you're seeing in the Indian aviation space. What are the big demand trends that you notice? What kind of sustainable passenger growth are we looking at for the industry? And how is the pricing situation at the moment?
Well, probably 2 or 3 different elements. One is that the Indian aviation market continues to have a symbiotic relationship with the overall growth in the economy, and which is great. So if India continues to move towards a $5 trillion economy, we benefit from that. The second is that what has also changed dramatically in the last 15 years is the demographic of the consumer has changed. So the fact that 67% of our population is under the age of 35 makes a good fundamental story for us to build a product that is young and that is efficient and so on and so forth. And the third is that airport infrastructure has improved a lot. From 15 years back when it was a challenge to figure out where you're going to park airplanes, India is going to open up 70 new airports in the next 2 years. So directionally, the demand, a stable yield environment, high load factors, and an infrastructure that is catching up with that demand is what's helping us. But at the same time, one has to remember that in 2006, this country had 110 commercial airplanes and 1.1 billion people as their population. We added 300 million people, but we haven't even added 400 new commercial airplanes in the country. We still have less number of airplanes as an industry than one Southwest Airlines in the US. So just, that and not counting growth. So just a huge opportunity, and we're still in our infancy.
Oh, that's great to hear. There's a huge opportunity and you're still in your infancy. I want to understand how big is the overseas opportunity for Akasa Air. I do know that you are looking to expand in international operations in a big way. You've added 500 people to your, your staff as well in order to sort of take this international expansion forward. But tell us, what are the routes that you're looking at and what kind of growth do you see in the overseas business?
Yeah, well, we're the fastest airline in India ever to have reached the point at which we are going to start international operations. We think that the 5 to 6 hour range is ideally suited not just to our type of aircraft, but also to where the demand sits. So therefore, the SAARC countries, Middle East and Southeast Asia. We are beginning to get our Dash 200s, the Boeing 737-8-200s. Our 20th aircraft was a Dash 200. So even in our original 76 aircraft order, 2/3 of it is the higher capacity Dash 200s. So therefore, that then is an aircraft that lends perfectly to chasing this international demand. Now, having said that, we will always, chase profitability and growth wherever the domestic and international operations take us. And given that we are a single fleet type, very disciplined sort of operation, it gives us huge amount of fungibility to move capacity between international and domestic. We don't have to start thinking about multiple different types of aircraft, multiple different types of crew, and so on and so forth.
All right, that's about Akasa Air taking it to the Indian skies, and we'll see how that goes. There is a fair amount of passenger load as well. We've seen, impact come by on a lot of these travel stocks too. Indian hotels